On January 31, 1990, Russia's first McDonald's opened its doors in Moscow. Located in Pushkin Square, this event symbolized the opening of Russia to Western culture and economic practices. The opening day saw thousands of Russians eager to experience the iconic American fast food chain, with long lines forming outside the restaurant. In November 1935, a policeman in London's fog used a device that was attached to the gas line and could be folded up and stored within a metal box buried in the ground to guide traffic. In 1939, 3 men in Visby, Gotland, Sweden, stopped to read the news about the growing problems in Europe. The photo shows how people were worried about what was happening before World War II. In 1917, a 19-year-old Al Capone was photographed with his father and uncle. This picture shows a young Capone before he became one of the most infamous gangsters in American history. A couple poses near their home on their wedding day in East Beirut, Lebanon, 1989. In 1936, Coca-Cola trucks loaded and ready to go. In the 1970s, Bruce Lee was photographed looking sharp. Known for his martial arts skills and film career, Bruce Lee became an iconic figure worldwide during this time. The first morning after Sweden changed from driving on the left side to driving on the right, in 1967, the streets were filled with cars adjusting to the new rule. This historic event was known as Dagen H, and it required careful planning and coordination to ensure a smooth transition. In 1964, a taco vendor in Tijuana was photographed catching up on the day's news while waiting for the next customer to show up. In the 1930s in England, a man was seen looking for a job while wearing his CV. This unique approach showed his determination to stand out and find work during challenging economic times. In 1946, Albert Einstein testified before the Anglo-American Committee, discussing the Arab-Jewish tensions in Palestine. During the hearing, Einstein expressed his views on the impact of British colonial rule on the situation. In a candid moment captured by photographers, Einstein was visibly annoyed by the flashbulbs. In September 1944, a German soldier captured by the French resistance was led through the streets of Saint-Mihiel, France, amidst jeers and taunts from the crowd. Skylab, the space station, was originally intended to safely fall into the ocean upon re-entry. However, it unexpectedly crashed near Esperance, Western Australia. In response, the U.S. State Department received a $400 fine from the local authorities for littering. In 1960, an American housewife demonstrated the cleaning power of Vel detergent in a TV advertisement. These commercials were a popular way to showcase new products and their effectiveness in everyday household tasks during that era. On October 23, 1940, despite being badly damaged by a German air raid on London, England, people continued to browse the Holland House Library. In 1975, a pancake race was held at Betws Shopping Center in Newport. In 1944, during World War II, a group of people in Clever Park, Haarlem, the Netherlands, listened to the radio in secret. This clandestine activity was crucial for receiving news and updates in a time of occupation and censorship. Around 1939, a photograph captured a little German boy dressed in his father's uniform. In 1875, photographer Mikhailu Graham captured an image of a young couple from Podylia, a region in central Ukraine. In 1964, photographer Howard Bingham took an iconic photograph of Muhammad Ali, titled "Sitting on $1 Million." Around 1876, Italian street musicians were photographed playing music in the streets of London, United Kingdom. During the Trooping the Colour Parade in 1970, a guard fainted as Queen Elizabeth II rode by. This parade is a yearly event celebrating the Queen's official birthday, featuring impressive military performances. In 1893, Princeton University students were photographed after a snowball fight. Back then, snowball fights were a common tradition at the school, but some students made them more intense by packing their snowballs with rocks. In March 1958, Elvis Presley was photographed getting weighed on his first full day as a member of the U.S. Army at Fort Chaffee, Arkansas. After World War II, Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa was returned to the Louvre Museum in Paris. The painting had been kept safe during the war. In 1938, a young man was photographed grilling hamburgers at a concession stand in Crowley, Louisiana, USA. During World War I, Anna Coleman Ladd worked on creating facial masks for disfigured soldiers. In 1905, she assisted one of the soldiers by sculpting a mask to help restore their appearance. In 1953, Queen Elizabeth II's coronation took place, a grand event at Westminster Abbey in London. This marked her ascension to the throne and was a significant moment in British history, celebrated with elaborate ceremonies and watched by people around the world. During World War II, a touching moment occurred when an Austrian boy received new shoes. It's a Wonderful Life, a classic Christmas film released in 1946, was directed by Frank Capra and stars James Stewart, Donna Reed, and Lionel Barrymore, among others. This heartwarming movie has become a beloved holiday tradition, known for its timeless message about the impact of one person's life on others. In 1971, Aboriginal rights activist Gary Foley was captured in an iconic image holding a sign that read, "Pardon me for being born into a nation of racists." This powerful statement highlighted the struggle for racial equality and justice in Australia during that time. In 1960, Tupperware parties became a popular phenomenon among suburban women. These gatherings involved women selling Tupperware products from their homes, creating a social and sales event that contributed to the brand's success and household popularity. In 1929, a smiling postman in Chicago posed with a load of Christmas parcels. On June 6, 1944, a crowd gathered at Times Square, watching the news ticker on the Times building. This moment captured the intense interest and anticipation as news of the D-Day invasion in Normandy, France, was relayed to the public, marking a pivotal moment in World War II. In 1958, American photographer Julian Bryan and Polish woman Kazimierza Mika recreated a photo taken of them in Warsaw, Poland, on September 13, 1939. In 1966, Cesar Romero portrayed the iconic character of the Joker in the TV series Batman. His portrayal of the Joker, with his distinctive laugh and colorful antics, became a memorable part of pop culture history. In 1959, children living on the outskirts of Medina, Italy, crossed a river using pulleys to get to school. This method helped them navigate the river's water safely and efficiently, ensuring they could attend school despite the geographical challenges they faced. On December 11, 1941, Adolf Hitler declared war on the United States at the Reichstag in Berlin, Germany. In 1955, a lively baby race event was held at New Jersey's Palisades Park, bringing joy and excitement to attendees. In 1961, a famous photograph captured President John F. Kennedy reading the newspaper in the Oval Office. This iconic image came to be known as the loneliest job. In 1938, a technician was photographed performing maintenance on electromechanical telephone switches inside the telephone exchange building on East 30th Street, New York City. Albina Malihosevar was a Slovenian fighter who was wounded multiple times in combat during World War II. In 1977, 88-year-old Otto Frank inaugurated the statue of Anne Frank in Amsterdam. The statue honors his daughter, Anne Frank, and her legacy. In September 1945, discharged Japanese soldiers were photographed crowding around trains in Hiroshima, Japan, eager to return home after the end of World War II. In 1953, Prince Charles watched the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. Standing beside him were Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon and Princess Margaret. Shirley Slade was among over 1,000 women recruited by the U.S. government for an intensive 7-month training course aimed at becoming the first female pilots to enter the Air Force. In 1909, the anchor chain for the Titanic was being manufactured at Hingley & Sons. In 1942, Albert Fenn photographed a New York City taxi driver. In 1987, Freddie Mercury and Annie Lennox were photographed together at the Ivor Novello Awards. On May 4, 1945, inmates from the Ampfing subcamp in Germany were photographed after being liberated by U.S. soldiers.